Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our debut edition of CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701. It's great to be here for this inaugural event that we are having for Security Plus. I don't know if you're aware, but in November, Security Plus was just updated from 601 to 701. So this is the new 701 course that we are diving into. It's our first time delivering it. And yes, I am sick. So far not COVID. That's a good thing. But folks, if I do not seem normal, if I seem to stand there sometimes and like overthink, it's because I'm just having trouble processing. Maybe I need to get some antivirus software downloaded on me or something like that to clean things out. I'm not sure yet. Maybe plug into the Matrix, get things cleaned up. We'll see what we can do in regards to that as we go through our Security Plus course. But we're going to be spending 8 sessions together. So today, 4 hours, tomorrow 4 hours, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll take a break. If anything happens though, between now and Thursday that we can't get through all of our material because, maybe a power outage. Today in our neck of the woods here, we have a massive windstorm that has come through here, bringing lots and lots of rain, which is abnormal this time of year. But as a result of that, with power lines that are above ground, not below ground, it could ultimately result in power outage. And so depending on what time that happens, we may have to just reschedule the rest of class. We'll just keep going through class, and then whatever we mess up on, whatever we missed, we'll go ahead and do on Friday, things like that. So that's why we don't typically teach on Friday. If you've never been with us before, it's because if anything happens during the week, we need that extra day just in case. We're at the mercy of the internet. We're at the mercy of ISPs. We're at the mercy of everyone else around us in order to get this, located. I'm in Atlantic, Canada. I am our Canadian instructor here, so don't hold that against me, I would appreciate that if you didn't hold that against me, but I'm in Atlantic, Canada, and there's been a storm that has been coming up the east coast of the United States all the way up, and it's hit Atlantic, Canada today. The worst winds are pretty much happening now for the next 4 hours, and the rain's not as bad as it was an hour ago, but still, anything can happen, right, when it comes to power lines and a lot of wind. So, if something does happen and I magically disappear because of power issues, just hang on in the background and we'll try to get somebody in one of our other offices to contact everybody and let them know what our plan is. And if for some reason I disappear off the screen, it's because I'm either coughing, I'm sneezing, I'm trying to do something in regards to how I feel up here right now. It's pretty bad. And it's a massive sinus issue right now. And so if I do disappear off the screen, just give me a chance to come back. It could be 30 seconds, could be a minute, depending on how red my face is from coughing and stuff like that. So, all right. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive in. I see a lot of people have come in now, which is great. Let's go ahead and introduce you to the course and the exam objective. So typically when we dive out to show you the course, there's a lot to show you. But in this case, this is new. This is a brand new course. So there's really not a lot to show you in here. So the first thing is that you have access to today's session by clicking on a watch button somewhere. It could have been at the top across a banner. It could have been right here underneath this particular video. Whatever it is, that's how you access today's live session. Maybe somebody sent you a direct link to click on and it's bringing you to that particular page. So here it is. The button's there. Watch now. It's right there. Maybe you clicked on tune in up here. Whatever it is, you are watching the live session right now. But as the live session progresses today, I'm recording everything that we are doing. So right now we are in the introduction to course and exam objective topic. So I'm recording that. And then my next topic I'll record. And the next topic I'll record, and so on and so forth. And then these are going to be populated here later on today. So since it's a debut class, give us a couple of hours to get everything sorted out and finalized and up in campus. But everything's going to show up here using the various titles that you see in regards to the different conversations we're going to have. So introduction to course and exam objective will be one of the titles. And then, we'll have another one that maybe is called AAA. We'll have another one that might be called something else, maybe malware or something like that. So in the end, those are the videos that are going to show up, giving you the opportunity to go back and review anything that you missed because maybe your boss came in your office and they asked you to do something for you. Maybe you're distracted by something else. In the end, you can come back and review what you missed, but you also get the chance to come in anytime and review what you need to review in order to get ready for the certification exam. On the right-hand side, you'll see there's a syllabus up there right now. There's class slides that are available. So our goal right now is to, and the syllabus isn't 100% baked in because since this is the debut class, I have a goal. My goal is to cover this in session 1, cover this in session 2, but you'll see I really don't have session 3, 4, 5, 6 laid out just right now because we'll see what happens today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. This is my plan, right? And if that doesn't actually happen today as is, then it's going to be adjusted as we go along. And so essentially, this is our trial run as well, folks. So welcome to the trial run of SY0-701. So that's your syllabus. You can grab that anytime you want, but it's going to be updated as we go through our 8 sessions here together. Same thing with the class slides. If I have to make any adjustments to class slides because they're not just absolutely perfect, maybe we overlooked something, maybe a slide wasn't showing up as we intended to, the class slides can end up being changed as well as we go along. So in reality, your syllabus, your class slides will be fully baked in 2 Fridays from now. So not this Friday, but the 22nd of December. That's what it's going to be, the 22nd of December, when pretty much the class slides and syllabus will be baked in and perfect based on our 2 weeks that we have together here. We're going to do some in-class practice questions as we go along because this exam requires you to answer practice questions. So we'll definitely do that. And then you also have a practice exam that goes along with this as well. And along the way, anytime we want to create or add additional resources that we may think will be exceptional for you preparing for the certification exam, we'll start adding those in there. So every time you come back to your course, folks, just double check, has there been a new supplement added? Has there been a new this added or that added? Because, as the course goes along, maybe in 3 months from now, you come back and review things because you plan on taking the exam in 4 months from now. Well, if that's the case, there might be a few extra supplements there that weren't there before. And if they are, take advantage of them at that particular point in time. So what I'd like to know right now before we move any further is, why are you here, folks? Chat in. Why are you here? A, B, C, D, or E? Are you here because you are preparing for the certification exam? Or are you here because your boss is forcing you to be here, even though you have a fever? Potentially. I'm just kidding. That's not what's happening. Maybe you're watching to get maybe some CPE credits for a different certification. Maybe it's a combination of these as well. Maybe you're just curious about security and figured, hey, this is a good place to start, which it is, by the way. And then lastly, any other, and please specify if you can in that particular point in time. All right, good. All right, so as you can see, most of you are here to get ready for the certification exam. And that's how we have designed the course, in a way to help you get ready for the certification exam. So, but also you're going to go through a multitude of topics and concepts that are going to be real world relevant. So that way you can become a better security professional. So although our primary goal is to get you ready for the exam, the secondary goal is to make sure that you become a way better security professional than you are before you took this actual course. Okay, so very, very important course. Now, CompTIA's website for Security Plus. So if you've never been to CompTIA's website for Security Plus, you can go to CompTIA.org, and then a whole bunch of banners are going to show up, but you go under Certifications, Security Plus, and I'll give you a quick link to Security Plus right here in the bottom right-hand corner in the chat area. So if you haven't logged in the chat area yet, make sure you do so, folks. But you'll see here, it's a global certification. It's meaning it's not vendor specific. Right, so it's and not necessarily industry specific either. We're talking about cybersecurity in general when it comes to Security Plus. So it doesn't matter whether it's industrial control systems we're applying this to, or enterprise networks, or even branch offices, or small office, home offices, right? This is about general security concepts that are not tied to any specific vendor. So the odds of you getting a question about a specific vendor product or solution on this exam is very, 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 very low nowadays. Now, I do know in 601 there was a few vendor-specific questions, like Wireshark as an example. But so far, based on my experience, it seems like those vendor-specific things have been removed and everything's more generic now, in general now, to meet the true needs of what Security Plus is and what CompTIA is. It's not about a specific product or a specific solution. It's about general security topics. So anybody who's just interested in getting more knowledge on security, anybody who's interested in taking the exam, you're in the right place. And so you can come to this page anytime you want and read more about this, about the exam, about this, about that. It's honestly, there's not a lot of great information here. You're going to get way more information from me as we progress through the course. But here are the main domains you're going to be tested on the certification exam. And you'll see that in the syllabus, not syllabus, the exam objectives as well. And then as we scroll down a little bit further, you'll see the exam details are pretty much 3/4 of the way down. And you'll see that this exam came out November 7th. And yes, I have taken the certification exam. So my course is designed based on two things: the official exam objectives, as well as my experience on the certification exam. So my current experience on the certification exam, which I believe was November 8th, 9th, or 10th, it was around there. It was really close to the actual release date. I was originally scheduled for the 8th, but I think I changed it to the 10th, if I recall correctly, or maybe the 9th. But my exam experience was pretty close to what was in the exam objectives, except for a few different things. So I modified, obviously, my course and how I deliver some of the content for those particular topics or those missing topics to make sure that you have everything you need to get ready for the certification exam. So I've taken the exam. I've built a course based on the exam as well as the official exam objective. So you have everything you need to become a Security Plus expert. All right. So just right now we have Charles. Is the stream issues for anyone else? Okay, getting buffer issues. Did you try refreshing your browser? Let's give this a quick. Yeah, you can try the backup link if you need to. And if things don't work out for you, then definitely reach out to support. You have these different options. Right, so the exam objectives, you'll see you can get your hands on them right here on the right-hand side. You got to put in your first name, your last name, your email, your job description. So if you want a copy of the exam objectives, you're going to have to go here to get them because they want your email address. That's what they want. And that's the only way you can get the exam objectives from CompTIA. And I'm not sure if they watermark them or not. So I do have a copy of them. Where are they? There they are. I do have a copy of them here, but I'm not sure if they're watermarked or not, and if my name's attached to them or my email address. I don't see anything on the pages, but it could be in the metadata. So we're just going to leave it alone in this particular case. All right. So if you want the exam objectives, make sure you grab them off of their website. And that's what we're going to be basing a lot of our discussions on here, is the exam objectives. So the course is designed to go through the exam objectives from beginning to end. So here's the 5 main categories for the exam objectives that are going to be on the exam. And you are going to have a score report that shows you how well you did in each of those sections. All right, can everybody still hear me? All right, give that a try. Press play or refresh browser. All right, press play or refresh browser if you haven't done so yet, folks. Let me know when you're back in. Always amazing how so many different things can go wrong in a debut class. Oh, goodness. All right, good. Excellent. Glad you're all back. Perfect. All right. So you'll be tested on and you'll get a score report here that is going to outline all of this when you take the certification exam. So we're going to go through each and every single one of these and every single one of their sub-objectives that you have to know to get ready for the certification exam. So you'll see here that security operations is a big part of your certification exam, almost 30% of your exam. So we'll be spending a lot of time in there. There's like 9 sub-objectives in that one. And then another 25% of your exam is pretty much threats, vulnerabilities, and mitigations. So what you're going to get on the exam is you're going to get a lot of multiple choice questions. You're going to get multiple choice, single answer questions, multiple choice, multiple answer questions. And then you also get performance-based questions. And you're not going to get a lot of performance-based questions, folks. And essentially performance-based questions might be like a type of drag and drop question they ask you, or it might be a question where you have to click multiple boxes and then pick different things in each and every single one of the different boxes in order to answer the final question when it's all said and done. So typically you only get like 2 to 3 of those on the entire certification exam. So don't stress too much about those. But a performance-based question requires you to know a lot of things all at the exact same time. That's the point of them. So for example, a performance-based question might be about threats, vulnerabilities, and mitigations, where you have to understand the various threats, understand the various vulnerabilities, and understand the various mitigations and put them all together. So it could take you 5-6 minutes to do a single performance-based question because there's just so much you have to do in regards to that. But you're not going to get a whole lot of those on the certification exam. Most of them are going to be multiple choice single answer with a few multiple choice multiple answer with maybe 2 or 3 performance-based questions. Now we do have some resources that we're going to add to the campus environment, and they mimic types of performance-based questions. So that way there you'll have the opportunity to practice doing some performance-based styles of questions for the exam. They're not in campus yet, but they will be this week. They will be this week. All right, so when you go through these exam objectives, we go a little further down, folks, you'll see that we're going to have to cover different control types. We're going to have to cover different security concepts. But here's the most important thing for you to remember. You have to understand the actual objective and what you're preparing for. Think about it. Compare and contrast. Meaning you have to know, for example, the definitions of those categories, the definitions of the control types, and maybe a few examples of each of those. This one is summarize. So these are going to be straightforward, single line, simple questions. What is confidentiality? What is integrity? What is non-repudiation? What is AAA? What is control plane for zero trust? Or what is what does implicit trust zones mean for zero trust? And so on and so forth. Or what are these examples of? Oh, they're bollards. What are these examples of? Oh, it's video surveillance, and so on and so forth. So be mindful that when you're preparing for the exam, you might have to explain, so get a little bit deeper about things, or you might just have to summarize things. And that's how the course is designed. It's designed to help you compare, contrast for those ones you have to, summarize when you have to, explain when you have to. And then the hardest thing you're going to have to do on the exam is given a scenario. So basically, given a scenario means they're not going to spoon feed you the information. It's going to be, for example, an example of a ransomware attack, and then them asking you, what is this an example of? So you have come to work and the server or all the data on the server is encrypted, and there's a message demanding you that you pay a fee to get access to your data. Okay, well, that's ransomware, right? So given a scenario, is that ransomware, or is that spyware, or is that a keylogger, right? What is that? So that is where you have to kind of interpret what they're saying and then pick the answer out of it. So we're going to make sure that we have the ability to do that by the time we're done this course. And you can see there's a lot we've got to cover. There's a ton. This is not an exam you can prepare for in a week, 2 weeks, even a month, folks. You need to know so much to only, answer 90 questions on the exam. That's it. So there's like 800 different things you have to learn to answer 90 questions. So did they overdo it? Possibly. Possibly they overdid it for the amount of stuff you have to learn. But in the end, with all the stuff you've learned, you are a way better security professional than if you didn't learn that at all. So keep that in mind. You're going to learn a ton of stuff just to answer approximately 90 questions on the exam. Charles, you still freezing? All right. So with that in mind, folks, right, folks, if you are having issues, always refresh your browser first. And if it keeps happening, maybe jump on the backup stream today. Because definitely there is, if there's any issues along the East Coast, any issues with the internet, anything like that along the East Coast today, because it is a pretty big storm that came up the East Coast last night, could be causing suboptimal routing through the internet as well. Right.